What's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing well. So today's video will be short and we'll talk about how you can get the best sniper entries for the most maximal reward possible. So it's a very simple tip, yet it's a very big game changer. And that's the concept of entering when you're going long, since we'll keep it simple today for that. When you're going long, to wait for an uptrend. And here's how to do that. So the first tip would be to look for supports that have been tested many times. So when Bitcoin started correcting from 58K down here, many people were tempted to buy in, so they got faked out around 56K, then they got slaughtered. They got faked out around 53K, they got slaughtered. And then at all of these prices, it could be very tempting to enter, but as you can see now, it went all the way to 45K, and now it's even down to 44K if people held. So how do we determine that it bounced off around 45.5K? So that ties to the first tip of looking for supports that have been tested numerous times. So when we zoom out on the hour chart, we look for supports and resistances that have been tested many times. So let's draw them in. Okay, we could see that around 48K-ish. There's like another hard support, so we set a notification there to see if it bounces off of that or not. And then there's also another one around 45K-ish. Right here. Boom. So you can see that around 48K, it's been tested 1. Zoom a little bit, 2, 3, multiple times 5. Around there. 45.5K, it's been tested multiple times 2. It's been tested 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple times here, 5. And now it's also being tested around here when it bounced down. 6, went up a little bit. 7 is a lucky number. Boom. Go long as soon as it confirms its uptrend. And you compare that with another one, like, we'll draw it in. Since resistance gets flipped to support level after you uptrend, it's been tested 1, kind of like 2 times, and now it got tested like 3 times. So it's a very weak support. Same thing here at around 55.5K-ish. Kind of bounced up here. It's been tested, let's see, 1, 2, 3 times too. Same thing. However, it was also overextended too, so that tied into that. So we saw that a support that's been tested many times, 45.5K, which was specifically tested around 7 times, held up very strongly, while the weaker supports that have been tested only 2 or 3 times, they broke through. Secondly, it's very important to use higher time frames. So if we pull up a shorter time frame, like even a 15-minute, there could be many supports and resistances in which you could get overwhelmed. Like you put one here, put one here, put one here, here, at like every 1 to 3%. However, that's inaccurate, as we need to use higher time frames to capture the stronger supports and resistances, since they consolidate all the information into these bars right here instead of having a bunch of bars everywhere. So that's the second tip. And the last tip would be to wait for the first green candles on the Heiken Ashi candles. So the cool thing about these candles is that they help dictate momentum and which direction the price action is going, where everyone else is going. So when it's green, that means that there tends to be more bullish momentum. When it's red, there tends to be more bearish momentum. So you combine that with being able to recognize higher highs and higher lows, that becomes a very powerful tip. So instead of randomly buying at any of these red candles when it's going down, you wait for that first green candle around here. You can take a starting position, it sells off a little bit, you could sell off, cut a loss, or you could wait for it to retest 45.5k again, retest it, then you scale into your position again. And a more clear example of the higher highs, higher lows is on the left side right here. So you could see a clear uptrend. We'll draw it in just to make it a little bit easier to see. Here, boom. So you can see that there's higher highs, higher lows. Then you combine that with the multiple supports getting tested. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At that point, 45.5k was tested 5 times. So you can start a position here, goes up a little higher. Then there's a higher support here, so you don't really have to sell. Then you can add in a little bit more at 48.5k, higher support, uptrends again. If you want to be safe, you can wait for it to clear that resistance before adding. However, you could also be slightly more riskier and add it in at 48.8k, goes up here, higher, let it run, consolidates for a little bit. Now at this point, it starts creating a lower low in which you could slowly start scaling out your position, but it quickly uptrends in which you could re-add to your position, sells off a little bit, higher low, higher highs, so keep it going, double top, and then you can exit, and then it sells off quickly, in which you could, if you want to be safe, you can sell off, or you can leave a fraction of your position, maybe a fifth or a fourth, to keep riding as it starts recovering quickly. So in summary, 3 tips are: look for supports that have been tested many times. So for example, with the 45.5k support, it's been tested 7 times, so that's a very strong support to go heavy in your long position, as opposed to 52.5k, which was tested 2 times previously, and then that created a 3 to 4% bounce, but didn't hold. And second tip would be to utilize higher time frames. If you use the shorter time frames, like 1, 2, 5, 15 minute, you'll get very confused. Even a 30 minute has a lot of fake outs. So try to use the hour, 4 hour daily time frame if you can. And last tip would be wait for the actual green candles to appear in the Fibonacci candles. Instead of trying to guess where it'll appear, just wait for it to actually happen. So that's a big major tip. So try not to force your ego into trading. Like, try not to capture the bottom or something. Just wait for the bottom to actually present itself, and then you go in. And also for utilizing, or for confirming an uptrend, you can also see and slowly scale in as it confirms the uptrend, as it creates higher highs, higher lows. And for all these tips, if you want to short, you can apply the same things for lower highs, lower lows, and everything else. So hope these tips help, and talk to you all next time.